Hi everyone, there's Thekos. A little while ago I brought you 15 great games you can play with the entire family and generally people that don't play as many board games as we do. Of course, there are many more games that fit this category, so I decided to publish a second video. So without any further ado, let's get into this list. Here are 15 more great family weight games you can play with nearly everyone. Let me start with a few light games. First up is Similo. This is a game I especially like to bring to the table if the player count is quite high, since, in theory, this game does not have a limit in that regard. In this game, one person is the storyteller who randomly picks one card and then needs to give hints with the help of other characters if there are similarities or differences to the character that needs to be found. All other players cooperate in guessing which characters do not fit these silent descriptions and need to turn over more and more cards. Such a simple but brain-twisting game. I really love this one. Pairs is the next game on my list. This one is an incredibly simple one as well. Every player has a card in front of them. When it's your turn, you draw a card or you pass. If you pass, you just take the lowest card lying on the table. If you draw a card with a value you already have in front of you, then you bust and take that card instead. Then a new round begins. The first player to reach a player count dependent target score loses. That's it. Yep, it's that simple. It's very portable, especially this cute Cthulhu version I got here, and can be taught in just a few minutes. A really simple but effective game. This one is a well-known and popular choice, Ticket to Ride. This game has 1,000 versions, one might think. This game is a pretty cool one, because it is quite simple but has some nice tactical gameplay. Essentially, you're collecting tickets so you can build railways so you can complete your gold cards. That's it. What makes the game really interesting is that you're all playing on the same map, so this one is quite interactive and a race to build the tracks you need. The game can become quite mean, but I really enjoy this one. I love Draftosaurus. I've already said so in my review that you can find on my channel. The theme is charming and all these different dinosaur meeples are just wonderful. But the gameplay really holds up as well. This is a simple drafting game where you go around the table drafting different dinosaur species. But the twist is that all the enclosures have specific conditions. Some of them only accept the same type of dinosaur or pairs of the same species. And then there is a second side of the board that has more complex conditions. Such a cute and fun game you can play with nearly anyone. Next up is Love Letter, another game that has incredibly simple rules but is definitely deep enough to be played over and over again. The idea is that the players take the roles of suitors sending their missives to a princess who seeks the ideal partner. All you do on your turn is draw a card and then play a card. You win either if you are the last player left or if you have the card with the highest value at the end. This is a great game, but I actually enjoy the variant Lovecraft Letter a little more since it adds a madness mechanism. But most people don't like the theme as much, so most of the time Love Letter it is. And seriously, it's a great game. This is Concept, a game that does not get enough recognition as it should. But it's such an amazing concept that really holds up well. All you have is this board with many different symbols and these markers that you can use to, well, mark objects. You're trying to explain a word, phrase, or even saying without using words. Instead, you're relying completely on these symbols. You can play this as a game for points, but I think it's much better as an activity without trying to win. Seriously, if you ever have the chance to play this game, please try it. It's really something special. Canvas is a game that has gained quite a bit of popularity. As of making this list, the second expansion has just been live on Kickstarter. I do actually have an old playthrough on this channel of one of the solo modes. This is not only a beautiful game with great art and components, but it also has a really unique, novel and interesting mechanism. You are assembling paintings by putting small transparent artworks in sleeves. After collecting 3 of those, you have assembled a painting that consists of these different art pieces. Also, there are a unique name and the symbols for scoring as well. Such a great concept that works really well, is quick to explain and quite simple to play. One of my most favorite family weight board games. And yes, you can also get it at retail. Next up is Silver and Gold. This is a roll and write. I don't often mention roll and writes in such lists because not everyone likes those. And also because there are just so many. But Silver and Gold is so approachable that I had to include it here. Players are trying to complete treasure maps by drawing polyomino shapes onto them. That's almost already it. It is really simple, quick to teach and play, and also really portable. Not my most favorite roll and write, but a very approachable and solid one. The next game I want to talk about is Mini Mutabo, the smaller version of Mutabo. This game may not be available everywhere worldwide. A similar game would be Telestrations, which is definitely more widely distributed. I personally like the idea of Mutabo more though. Players draw 2 cards, one with the beginning of a sentence and one with the end of the sentence. Then they try to draw whatever the sentence contains. Then the drawing is folded back and the piece of paper is handed to the next player who's trying to turn the drawing into a sentence. This is continued until all players have had all sheets of paper once. And then you check out all sentences and drawings. This is not a game per se, but rather an activity. But this is hilarious. Laughter is guaranteed when playing this. I love it. Now let me mention 2 deduction games I thoroughly enjoy. Dixit and Stella Dixit Universe. I'm mentioning both since they belong to the Dixit universe and both games are really good. In both games you're trying to form connections between words and images, and these images are amazing. The different sets have been created by different artists and it shows. Most of them are quite surreal, but the art is great throughout. I personally like Stella more, since it is a bit more directed and you're actually trying to choose the same images the other players choose, which makes the deduction aspect much more fun. But both games I can strongly recommend. They're both great. Kaboom Universe is a game I have mentioned several times on this channel. I do even have an older review of the game you can watch. In this game you take the roles of aliens who are trying to save dinosaurs from the threat of an asteroid. Just the theme and art are amazing already. I love these derpy dinosaurs. But the game's really fun as well. It's a take that game, but a pretty light one. There are some action cards that let you remove other players' dinosaurs, but it's pretty tame compared to other games such as Exploding Kittens or Unstable Unicorns. This game is easy to teach, quick to play, portable, and supports up to 8 players and even 12 if you have 2 copies of the game, which I of course do. Also, I got these amazing signatures by the artist Alvaro. I really love this game. Some of you may know that action programming is one of my most favorite game mechanisms throughout. This is why Colt Express is next on my list. In this game you play bandits robbing a train. You all do that at the same time. You keep playing action cards on the table, and after the phase ends you go through all the actions one after another. And it gets really crazy and hectic. You can shoot, punch and pick up loot to try to become the richest outlaw. There are also special round conditions and character abilities that spice up the game more. A really fun game, but it really shines at higher player counts. That's something to keep in mind. As you know, I like quite a few of the button shy games that come in these handy wallets. And there's one I'd like to mention in this list as well. It's Vino Morte. I'm including it in this list for 3 reasons. Its portability, its simplicity, and its player count. The game is simple. One player distributes cards among all players, either wine or poison. Then each player can choose. Do they drink by turning over the card, or do they trade with another player? If they drink wine, it's fine, but if it's poison, they're out of the game. You continue playing until there's 1 player left standing. That's it. This simplicity and the fact that this supports up to 8 players in such a small wallet makes this the perfect bar or restaurant game. Enchanted Plumes is a game I imported from the US since it wasn't possible to get here. It still isn't available here and I'm happy that I own it now. It's a really nice puzzler that is decently simple to explain and play. But it is so crunchy. There even is a bit of push your luck element when trying to decide how many feathers you want to put in each row and which colors you want to get. This is a beautiful game with great production quality and a really satisfying yet demanding puzzle. It's not the simplest game on this list, but I highly suggest you give it a look if you like these small card puzzlers. It even supports up to 6 players and can be played solo. A wonderful game. Last but not least, I got Azul. Well, this game hardly needs an introduction since it probably classifies as a modern classic. This is a tile drafting and puzzle game with beautiful production. Playing with these weighty tiles is always a joy. Also, the puzzle is really satisfying, although the game is pretty straightforward. But don't be fooled. Looking at what the opponents are doing is crucial in this game. This is one of the most crunchy games on this list, but it's an amazing abstract puzzle game. While it plays well at all player counts, it plays best at 2 players. I really enjoy this game and it is rightfully considered a modern classic. Well, there you have it. Another 15 great family board games you can play with nearly anyone. Now it's your turn. What family games do you really enjoy? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Alright, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, I greatly appreciate it. Since I recorded this video before I went live, I'm adding this while editing. I want to thank all of you for your support and especially my patrons who are generously supporting me on Patreon. Also a big shout out to Thagronor, who is currently my biggest supporter. Thank you so much for that. If you also want to support me, why don't you head over to my Patreon? You'll find the link in this video's description. If you enjoyed this video, why don't you let me know by liking and commenting? And if you'd like to stay up to date with my videos, why don't you subscribe to my channel? That would make my day. Also, you can hang out with me and my community on my Discord server. I'd love to see you over there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the very next video. Take care everyone, stay safe, and cheers.